working on our language lesson, page 195 and 96, talking about good and well. So you want to make sure you have your books out and ready to discuss these pages and this concept. Have you ever said, "I don't feel good"? Spider-Man did. Did you know it's impossible for you to feel good? You cannot feel good, but you can feel well. And in case you don't know who that is, I think that's Skeletor from the He-Man series. I used to watch He-Man as a kid. So, let's go on. Good and well are modifiers that are sometimes confused. It's very important that we use them correctly. Now, as you see, good is an adjective. It can appear right before the noun it describes, or it can appear in the predicate and refer back to the subject. So now remember, you can look before the noun or at another part in the later part of the sentence. For example, Tom is a good singer. Or the ice cream tastes good. In the first sentence, good is referring to singer. It's coming right before the noun in the later part of the sentence, so it's kind of getting both of those there. But in this ice cream tastes good, the good is referring to the ice cream that's in the first part of the sentence. But you always can know that it's going to work because you could say good ice cream. Okay? So in this case, good is an adjective. It's describing that noun. Okay? So think about that. And now let's go to well. Just a reminder. So well is an adverb. And it can be used as an adverb, or guess what? It can be used as an adjective too, but most likely it's an adverb. As an adverb, it tells how something is done. Remember, it's going to the action of the sentence. Let's look at some examples. Roy did his job well. Okay, he did well. So well is referring to did. How he did the job, he did it well. It can also be an adjective telling how a person feels. Well is referring how I feel. Okay? Okay, I'm well. Okay? So think about that. All right, so now let's do some examples in our book, starting with page 195. There's our little reminder. Adjectives, good is often an adjective and well is often an adverb. Page 195, think A. Let's read some of these together. And the directions say, all the following sentences are correct. Read them carefully to see how good and well are used. So let's read them and see how they sound, if they're correct. And they are correct. So number 1, did you do well on the test? I know, did you do good on the test? That sounds good. You would think that sounds good, but in proper language, we want to say well. Number 2, did you make a good grade? Well, this sounds good because what would you say? Did you make a well grade? No. Good is describing the grade, so it's an adjective. Number 3, Ryan feels well today. Okay, Ryan feels well. Well is describing the action, which is feels. Number 4, this is a good painting. We're not going to say this is a well painting because good is describing an adjective. Good is an adjective and it's describing the painting, which is a noun. And we know that things that describe a noun are adjectives. So good would be it. So always look in the sentence. Is it describing a noun or is it describing the action? And that's going to help you with this good and well. Number 5, Mia did a good job on her book report cover. Okay, good is referring to job, which is a noun. So good works very nicely here. You can go ahead and read 6 through 10 on your own, and let's go on to Think B. Now, Think B, I'm going to do a couple with you, and it says write either good or well in the following sentences. That's it. No underlines, no circles. So let's look at the first one. That was a blank tennis match. Well, think about it. Say both words. That was a good tennis match, or that was a well tennis match. Well, think about what you're describing. You're describing match or tennis match, and we are going to say good. Number 2, if you eat too much candy, you will not feel good, or you will not feel well. Think about it. It's talking about a feeling. And since it's talking about a feeling, that's an action, we are going to say well. All right. So now we're going to look at Think C on the very next page. So you're going to have to turn your page. And let's talk about this. I'm fixing my book here. Okay, let's talk about this. The directions say, read each of the following sentences. Decide first if sentence is correct or incorrect. If it's correct, you're going to write correct in the blank and don't do anything else. And if it's incorrect, you're going to underline what the mistake is in the sentence and then write the correct answer. And so we're still talking about good and well, so your answers in the blank will be good, well, or correct if the sentence is correct the way it is. Now what I want you to do is think about what it's describing. Is it thinking about the noun, or is it thinking about the action? And that's going to help you. So let's look at one. Think C, and number 1, a well joke can lighten a person's day. A well joke. Well, since we're talking about good and well, I'm looking at well, and I'm thinking well is describing joke, but not in a nice way. So it's because we're describing a noun, we should be using an adjective, and in this case, good, well is what you underline, and good is your answer. So you're going to underline well because this sentence is not correct. It's incorrect. You underline well, and then you write good in your blank. Let's try number 2. She did good on her patriotic project. She did good. Well, let's decide if it's correct or incorrect by looking at good. And good is describing an action here. It's not describing a noun. Okay, it's describing an action. So in this case, we're going to underline good because that's the wrong word. And we're not going to use good, but we're going to use well. All right, let's skip down to number 10. Mr. Smith is a good history teacher. Okay, so of course we're looking at good and in the sentence. And we have to decide if it's correct or incorrect. So we're looking at good. What is good describing? It's describing teacher. Now, teacher, I believe, is a noun because it's a person, place, or thing. And because it's describing a noun, it's an adjective. So we have to use good, which means good is already there. So that means the sentence is correct. So you're going to finish numbers 3 through 9 because we didn't do those. You're going to do them all on your own. Write correct if the sentence is correct. And if it's not correct, you need to underline the mistake and write in the correct answer. Okay, so that's what you're going to do for this section. You are going to keep moving on to remember D. And I'm going to let you remember how to do that. And remember E all on your own. Remember D, you're underlining the verb 2 times and the subject 1 time, but you are going to circle the adverb. So let me just verbally tell you number 1. Number 1, the small cabin in the woods was quickly built. Well, the verb is was built, and that should have 2 underlines. The subject is cabin with 1 underline, and then it says to circle the adverb, so you will circle quickly. If you didn't hear that, you can repeat this by rewinding your video. Number 2, do not waste your time on unimportant things. What is the subject? It's you that you'll put in parentheses. That's 1 underline. Do waste is your verb that you double underline. And then finally, not is your adverbs because it's talking about waste or do waste. Remember, E in the blank, label the bold word in the sentence using noun, verb, pronoun, adjective, or adverb. Again, ask your questions. Noun, person, place, or thing. Verb is an action. Adjective is describing a noun. And an adverb is describing the action or the verb. All right, everybody, if you need any help, please see me on Zoom whenever you have some time. Thank you and have a great weekend.